Hi there, this is Steve Spurrier. You can join University of Florida Hall of Famer Shane Matthews and also the two-time SEC Player of the Year every weekday as he brings you all you need to know about the Florida Gators, including news, analysis, opinions, and some of the biggest names in sports. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Or you can watch him live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter.
Good morning. It's Friday, folks. We made it. Welcome to PodUp Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the state of Florida, right there at Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. You got one more day to go buy that diamond ring for the lady because tomorrow is Valentine's Day. Head on over to International Diamond Center. Also, Comfort Temp Heating and Air is your #1 local HVAC company. Visit them at comforttemp.com. Comfort is our business. Peace of mind is our promise. Today's program, we'll have the one and the only corn dog, JC himself, and then we will have the head baseball coach, Kevin O'Sullivan, will join us. They crank it up tonight. First pitch of the season, Alex Faedo will throw it out. Former pitcher. They host the Blazers of UAB Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got Gator Golf cranking up tomorrow at Bostic. If you want to go out, I think there's 17 teams. The defending national champs, Oklahoma State will be there. Auburn, who has the top amateur in the world there. A lot of good golf. Go check them out. Let's go to the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. And it's our man.
Yeah.
Dog. What's up, JC?
Well, what's up? Let's see. So since you mentioned Kevin O'Sullivan, I thought I'd get into some conference futures for you here. The Gators are kind of a middle of the pack type of team that's looking at around 20-1 to win the SEC. You can get them at 40-1 to win the College World Series, but to just make the College World Series, it's only 4-1. So there's a lot of value in the Gators. The favorite in the league is the Arkansas Razorbacks, 3-1, followed by your defending national champion LSU Tigers at 425. Tennessee is 6-1. Texas is 7-1, along with Georgia. Mississippi State 11-1. Vandy 12-1, and then it goes on down. The least thought of team in the SEC is basically South Carolina and Missouri. So those are what the odds makers are saying. So that might give you a little insight. Florida's right there in the middle of the pack, 20-1, along with Auburn, Kentucky, and Texas A&M to win the SEC. So, you know, the Gators, I think really the early part of the year is just kind of feel out what your roster is all about, what kind of pitching depth you're going to have. There's going to be good pitchers. There's going to be guys you're not sure of, but depth is important in pitching or with pitching, and Kevin O'Sullivan's an expert in that area, of course. But when we get to conference play, that's where you kind of weed out who's legit, who's going to really contend and who's not. And then I think there should be a lot of parity, at least based on these odds, in this conference. So it's going to be an exciting league. There's going to be a lot of teams make the postseason.
Yeah, I failed to mention, Dan mentioned it on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. The #1 Lady Sooners are in town tonight in gymnastics.
Ooh, the Lady Sooners. That
Sooners.
school's kind of like Florida. They just excel in these spring sports, these off football season type sports. They really are good at it.
Well, Oklahoma's been pretty good in football for a long time, JC.
They have? I mean,
there was a guy named Bob Stoops that coached there.
I mean, what, you want to go back to before these kids were born? I mean, I guess you could do that.
He just retired, 5 or 6 years ago?
Yeah, but he didn't when did he leave Oklahoma? It had to be a long time ago, wasn't it?
No. Didn't Brent Venables take over for him?
No.
Who did?
I don't think it was Brent Venables. Venables has only been there a couple of years. Who was Oklahoma's coach, though? I mean, Stoops coached the Arlington team.
Oh, no, it was Lincoln Riley. They were pretty good, JC. JC, so they weren't good under Lincoln Riley?
I mean, okay, that was 10 years ago, maybe? I don't know.
No. Yeah. Lincoln Riley's only been at SC probably for 5 years. They were in the top 10 all those years. They had maybe had 1 or 2, maybe 3 down years.
I guess I'm just looking at the Venables tenure, but okay, maybe you're right.
They played in the playoffs last year, didn't they?
They did.
Okay.
They got beat.
Yeah, but they played
at home.
in the playoffs.
At home. They got beat.
I would do anything to get in the playoffs and get our ass beat.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
But I tell you, CTE is setting in because Lincoln Riley did really well there.
Oh,
Really.
yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, you're right. But gosh, I think in these other sports, you just see them everywhere. They're in softball, they're in gymnastics. They're pretty good in baseball too. But yeah, I guess yeah, it's a great school. It really is great state too. Love Oklahoma.
Brandon says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon, I noticed the golf lineup didn't have Luke Poulter playing. Any information on this? It was on the UF website. I don't know how Luke played in the first tournament, but again, you got to remember they can only play 5 out of their 10, and
Yeah.
if you don't qualify, you don't get to
Mm-hmm.
play. That's why somebody brought up the Charlie Woods thing the other day. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Florida's got the number 2 and number 3 amateurs in the world coming in next year's class. They're full.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we even recruited Charlie Woods. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
good he is because there's so many good players coming out of high school. But could you imagine, JC,
Mm-hmm.
if you're the coach and Charlie Woods is sitting on the bench and not playing?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's going to be a tough
Because,
answer. That's a tough phone call to take from Dad. But
but
Charlie,
that's
but you know
that's
what? Dad's going to say if Charlie's not playing well, he doesn't. I think Tiger would be very fair about that. He's not going to just
I would
say,
hope
"Let
so
my
because I
kid
mean
play." That's
that's
kind
part
of
of
who I
golf.
think. Right, and Tiger Woods is the ultimate competitor, so he's not going to look for favoritism. I don't believe he would. So if Charlie deserves it, yeah, he's going to be excited to go watch him play. But if he's not playing well, if he's 3-putting, if he's chunking things, then no, forget it. And what did J.C. Deacon say? I was watching the other day, but he was talking about analytics and how they really get into that, and it
Well,
just seems to me like, wow, that's deep. To me,
no,
it's
no.
so
When he
easy.
talks about
It's
analytics in them, is their
what's he
scoring
talking?
average, ball
Scoring average,
striking.
ball striking.
It's a lot of stats involved. But
But I think he goes by
basically,
feel too. I think he's a feel coach. He kind of looks at things, and if he feels like this guy's hot or trending and is really playing well, that's who he's going to have out there. But I
well,
don't know.
if you finish in the top 10 of the previous tournament,
Yeah,
you're automatically in. But then if you're not, it
got
doesn't
to
matter
qualify.
who you are, you have to
Yeah,
qualify 3
qualify.
straight
Yeah.
rounds. So,
Right. And that's fair. And listen, those guys are all so good. It's really hard, I think, to separate a lot of them, I would think, as a coach, because he's got so much depth on that team. And Dudley Hart does a wonderful job, of course, as the associate head coach, and he works with these kids in depth. I think the Florida Gator golf team is going to show us a lot of good things this weekend. The weather is going to be really good tomorrow. I think it's going to be a great opportunity. If you want to see the best quality of golf anywhere around here, outside of Bay Hill and the TPC, you go to this tournament and watch these kids hit the ball. It's incredible.
Daniel
You got,
says on Facebook Live, Tiger is opposite of a helicopter dad, stays away out of respect
yeah,
for Charlie's competition,
I would
not to be a
believe that.
distraction. I get
Yeah,
that. I get that. But I
I
can
believe that.
promise you, he won't be happy if his kid ain't playing for an entire year because it could happen. It
So,
could happen.
so let me ask you, QB, you like Scotty Scheffler at 22-1 right now, 10 back?
No, I'm telling you, those courses, as beautiful as they are, if it ain't a major, it is a pitch and putt, dude. Somebody shot like, who's the leader?
I don't know. I think it's 10 under. It's 10 under. And
Oh
the
yeah,
score, it's,
Rio
it's 10 under. What?
Hitsasami,
Yeah,
or I
yeah,
can't pronounce his name, but he's
right.
the guy that drinks the water. His caddy gives him water before he goes and putts. Have you ever seen that, JP?
No,
You obviously haven't watched golf this year.
I have watched golf this year. I've picked 2 winners,
Well,
but
he's been in the top 10 of every tournament
he's
this year.
okay. Yeah, I mean, he's doing well out there, but he won't last by the end of the week. And I guarantee you that Scotty will be somewhere in the top. I'm thinking he'll be in the top 10. You can still get plus odds on the top 10, in the top 10.
These courses are too easy.
Well, Scotty shot even par yesterday. So,
What course did he play?
no, that's true. I don't know if he was on the main one. There's
But
a bunch of them.
if they're not set up like a major, they tear those courses up, man. Tear them up.
Yeah, and once again, here we have my guy Gator up, 2 back. So, I really liked, and I should have picked Sam Burns. I was close to pulling the trigger on Sam. He's such a good putter. Gator up is tied for 4th at -8. You know, you got just such great players all over the lineup here. It's incredible.
So who, out of all the people we picked, do we have anybody in the top 10 right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, Jake Knapp, I took Jake Knapp.
He's 11. He's tied for. He's at 6 under par.
He's at 6.
I got Russell Henley. He's 6 under par.
Yeah, he's 6 under par. I got Straka. He is tied for 11th. He's 6 under par.
So, I got Siwoo. He's 5. I looked at the scoring yesterday, like early. Siwoo went off. He was 5 under through 5 holes. I was like, yeah, wow. Siwoo's going to really win this thing.
Right. Well, I don't think you can win it on the first day, but you can absolutely lose it on the first day. And it'll get probably more crowded up there. There's your guy Rose at 3 under.
I really think Bjornsson, he's 4 under.
Yeah. No, I mean, right. I see that. Yeah. Matsuyama, I got Hideki. He's 5 under. Everybody's there. Everybody's in it. I think everybody's in it. But the winning score will be 18 under or 20.
Balmy Carpet. MSRK said Scotty played Pebble yesterday.
Well, he shot even.
Yeah, it's not good there. Balmy Carpet says, why is UF all of a sudden preventing students from camping out in front of the O-Dome, but they'll let hobos walk around all over University Avenue? I don't know. First of all, the university has nothing to do with University Avenue.
Yeah, that's not their jurisdiction, actually.
But they camped out there for the Alabama game, which was last Saturday. So
we had the football coach bringing pizza to the kids.
Yes, I don't know if that's true or not.
QB, what do you think about Winidad? Getting another year.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, hell, there's like we said yesterday's program. There's a guy playing in his 11th year in Middle Tennessee State. 11th.
That's obscene.
Obama was the president.
I had no idea of that.
Yeah. So these kids are going to do everything they can to stay in college because they have no expenses. Think about it, JC. If you could live life with 0 expenses and being paid millions of dollars, think about that.
You can bank a lot of money that way.
It's not like when you go to the pros. When you go to the pros, you have expenses. You have moving expenses. You have to pay for rent. You have to pay if you buy a house. You have to pay for your food. In college, all that is taken care of. Plus, you're making money. And majority of these kids ain't going to make it as pros. So get it while you can, I guess.
Get it while you can. I'm going to ask a dumb question. You ready for this?
Yeah, I love dumb questions.
Are these kids that get these NIL deals, let's say Johnny Cornell gets $1 million from a lawyer group, and I'm playing.
It's not like Domino's Pizza writes you a check. It all goes through
the collective. Right. Collective. But we all know who's funding what. And the fund then pays me $1 million. What am I taxed on there? Do you know that? Is it income?
I would assume whatever.
Is it capital gains?
Whatever your income.
Okay, so then I'm employed, correct?
Yeah.
So they are employees.
Yes.
Of the collective.
I guess I don't know what the.
So where's the collective bargaining then if they're employees? See, there's a lot of this I'm not clear up because I haven't really taken much of an interest in it. I just care about Saturday, and you don't know the answer either. So
I don't. I'm thinking about there are no rules that Coach.
Well, there is when someone's getting paid $1 million. The IRS.
Well, they have to pay taxes, JC. I do have to pay taxes.
Well, so then if you pay taxes, are you a 1099 employee? Are you a W-2? What are you? That's why it's a dumb question because it seems so obvious, but I don't know the answer to it. Does anybody know? Maybe
I don't know the answer to that either.
Well, I think that's an important question because if you get $1 million and you're taxed at 35%, you now get $650,000. So, okay, is that making you an employee of the collective, of the guy who funds the collective, or are you a sole proprietor? Do you have to pay Medicare and Social Security as a sole proprietor at 15.3%? Do you have to pay for Obamacare? These are the things I'm curious about because as a money guy, I'm really curious where this money comes from, goes to, how it's accounted for, funded, and taxed. That's just kind of a question nobody to me has answered. And if you are an employee, why aren't we doing some sort of collective bargaining at some point?
Again, until they have the rules and regulations in place, it's the wild, wild west. Like I said, Matt Stafford didn't at the Hall of Fame, or not the Hall of Fame, wherever he got that award for MVP, that banquet. Could you imagine? He says, I'm coming back for another year, but I'm going to play for the Jets for
I know.
$35 million.
Yeah.
And when that's what these college kids are doing right now. So it's ridiculous.
They're staying in school.
A lot of people are saying they're independent contractors, 1099. I don't know if
1099. Okay, I'm very curious how they end up. So tomorrow we got the big blue rolling in. I tell you what, Kentucky's so beatable, but 11 and a half points, QB. The Gators.
That's a lot.
Gosh, that's a lot. Now Tennessee had these guys by the ropes, and then they made a run in the second half. But they looked so average against the Tennessee Volunteers on their home court the other night. They looked so average. And I tell you what, Vegas has been in love with the Florida Gators for so long. And everybody thought, well, we're going to give Georgia 8.5 on the road. It's the second of 2 road games in the middle of the week. This is going to be a tight game. It was a boring game if you just like tight games. But if you love the Gators, you're thrilled. Vegas loves the Florida Gators. Everybody's getting on board, and that's kind of scary a little bit. But at 11 and a half points against the talented Kentucky team, I don't know what to do with that. I really don't.
Yeah, well, I don't really know either. I think Gators win the game though. Kevin on the Titan More text line says, anyone who's upset over Charlie Woods is not a golfer. Tallahassee golf courses are much better than what we have here.
Yes, they are.
And he says they can't be 1099. They have to work required hours. So I don't know.
Yeah, these are things I don't know.
Yeah. Josh in Wamama says, JC, I had my brother and his family in town, and we're going to be up at Lake Panasoffkee seeing some gators today. You know a good place to eat there. You ever been there,
Lake
JC?
Panasoffkee, yeah. No, I haven't. Maybe I haven't, didn't know.
He thinks you're a world traveler or a state traveler.
I know, but the Lake Panasoffkee area is not one that I frequent. I wouldn't think so. I am going to Texas to watch a hockey game soon. I will be going to a golf tournament soon. So there is some trips coming for me as the weather turns a little bit warmer, hopefully. So I'll report in from there if that's okay.
Yeah. Daryl says on the Titan More text line, good morning, guys. My son and I are headed to Daytona Sunday for the 500. Go 9 car.
Nine car.
Has a 9 car, JC? That's my favorite driver.
Is that Dale Earnhardt Jr.?
No, I don't even know if he races anymore.
That's my point. I don't know anybody.
Chase Elliott.
I mean, I've lost so much interest in auto racing. It's more of a social event. I swear it is. I mean, you can't sit there.
Well, that's your perfect kind of stuff.
You actually, yeah, I do. But you can't tell me you sit there and watch these things go round and around for 5 hours and then weather a rain delay or something. But I know it's so popular. It makes Daytona's economy go. 2 races a year there. Well, I love Michael Schneider, 8656. It matters if you are an independent contractor or employee for Social Security and unemployment taxes. JC is absolutely correct. I mean, of course it does. You have to file. Although the way they run in Washington, D.C. right now, I don't know why anybody's paying taxes to pay these idiots. But at any rate, I think it's just a simple question that I've never heard an answer to. And I think it should be addressed. But at any rate, who cares? We're not getting the money. And I do think that the golfers, if you are a Gator booster in any way, shape, or form, and you see how good these kids are, give them a little extra if you can afford it, because this is a non-revenue sport. They don't charge you to go see them play. And so I'm all for these girls and these boys playing golf. They come from all over the world. It's incredible.
They get some NIL.
I hope so, because in the women's team,
I don't know about the women's team. I know the men's team.
They are from all over, all corners of the galaxy. It's really great. It's really a worldly type sport. So, all right, QB. So tomorrow we got basketball. We've got the golf. Okay, Stoops left in 2016. That doesn't seem like a long time ago, but when you think about it, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, and then Lincoln Riley was there for 7 years, I think.
Okay, and then the Venables, right?
Yeah, and Lincoln Riley, he coached what?
QB, how did you forget Lincoln Riley? He's your favorite.
I have no idea because I love the guy.
I know you do.
I tell you, CTE, dude. I'll drive I'll be going somewhere. I'll pull into Publix Park and I go, what am I doing here?
I do that too. I pulled up to the dry cleaner the other day. I sat in the car and I walked to Publix instead of going to the dry cleaner. Then I thought, wait a minute, didn't I leave something at the dry cleaner? Good
JC, what do you take to the dry cleaner? How are those people still in business?
I have a wardrobe. Are you kidding? Of course I take clothes to the dry cleaner,
Well,
TV.
most
You don't
clothes
use it.
nowadays, you can wash them and hang them up and they don't need to be dry cleaned.
You got
The
clothes
fabric
hanging.
that they
So
use
you
in
wait.
today's world.
So
You
while
must
you
still
watch,
have like
well,
100% cotton stuff.
so so let me
Pleated
just
pants.
so let me just see. So while you're sitting around the house watching soap operas, you're telling me you got clothes hanging around? Is that
No,
what you're telling
no.
me?
So when you wash
I
clothes,
want to hang my
JC,
clothes. I want to hang
let
my
me help
clothes.
you out here. So like it depends on what, like if you're washing like a button down or a golf shirt or whatever, that stuff doesn't technically have to be dry clean. You can wash it. If you hang it, it will, with the fabric in today's world, it doesn't wrinkle.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Well,
you can't get your stuff ironed and pressed.
I, I'm talking about the office attire that I usually wear, and it's gotten a little bit more casual as I've gotten older. And I don't know if that's
Yes.
good or bad. I really don't. We're doing business, a lot of it, and I show up in a golf shirt now. I mean, I'm
Belly
kind of
band.
like these. I'm kind of like these basketball coaches. You know, they all have athletic wear. You know, Patino and Bruce Pearl and Billy Donovan even used to show up in suits. I mean,
But do
expensive
you know why
suits.
nobody wears suits anymore, JC?
They're not comfortable.
Because during COVID,
Ah,
nobody wore suits because there's nobody. They did it just to look the part. I've always thought it was stupid. Why should a basketball coach have to wear a suit? Makes no sense to me. Now they wear golf pants and a quarter zip, and they're a ball coach. Makes perfect sense to me. Electronics World, integration design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment. Let Electronics World bring the Florida Gators basketball, baseball, softball, and the NBA to your living room. Go check them out, electronicsworld.net.
all right.
Um,
Okay. So did JC give us a lineup for tomorrow? Do you know who's
I don't
playing?
know what the lineup is. I don't know. They know because the day that he was on,
Okay, it
which
was
was
too early.
Wednesday, that was the last day of qualifying. So I'm not sure.
Got you. It was too early to see. I see that. QB, you see where the women's Olympic hockey team for the USA, and I'm watching the Olympics. It's the Winter Olympics. I love the Winter Olympics. I like it better than the Summer Olympics. But the women's Olympic hockey team in the USA, which is as sure a thing as the sun rising and setting. The women's Olympic hockey team is a 7.5 goal favorite to beat Italy. And this is an Olympic competition, 7.5 goals. Just on principle, don't you have to take Italy? Oh my God, they're so good. And the women's team for the U.S., I mean, they just romp Canada. Canada's supposed to be the next hot thing. And basically, in the men's division, you've got NHL players playing against themselves with Canada and the USA. That will be the gold medal game.
So
you've got NHL players.
Do we have college kids playing on our hockey team?
No, I don't think so. I think it's all NHL players.
Oh, so the NHL is not playing right now then?
No, they're not. They're on a 2-week hiatus.
Okay. That tells you how much I'm following it because I don't care.
Well, I know you don't care, but I mean, the hockey is a big deal.
No, I know it's great hockey and stuff, but I can't get into it because too much pisses me off about all that.
So I saw Myles Garrett is with a 5-foot tall American. What do they call the tube thing where they go up what Shaun White used to do and they flip on the edge? Snowboarder, I guess that's it. When they go in the tube, he's with a young lady named Chloe Kim, who won 2 Olympic gold medals. And there's big Myles Garrett standing in the snow with Snoop Dogg, looking at these little 5-foot tall women going like this. And I think it's just so funny. And he was so nervous for her, his girl. And she got silver. She's a 2-time gold medalist, though, and she's like an icon in that sport, the tube thing that Shaun White made famous for the United States. I know these are Winter Olympic things you don't care about, but I do think it's on. And since it's on and we're waiting for baseball and we're waiting for golf to play, you might as well talk about it. I think it's pretty cool. But the USA women's hockey team is as sure a thing as literally the sun rising.
Somebody wanted to know if you could name 3 players on the women's hockey team.
Well, I know Hillary Knight. Everybody knows who Hillary Knight is. I mean, she broke the U.S. Women's hockey scoring record for the Olympics, and she's in her 30s, and she plays for Seattle in the women's professional league. So I do know Hillary Knight. She is the captain of the women's team, and they are amazing. They're so damn good. They just laugh at the other teams, and being a 7-goal favorite against anybody is ridiculous. It's kind of like watching, Florida play Long Island in the first game of the season. Thank God we don't have to go through that anymore. But did you also see where Alabama's dumping Ohio State on the schedule? I 100% approve.
I did not see that.
Yeah, the reason why? Who the hell? What's good is it going to do to play a team like Ohio State? How did that help Texas last year? And Texas probably was a playoff team if we had more spots. I will tell you, Texas is better than probably 3 teams that got bids to the 12-team playoff last year. So, and they had to sit home. Losing to Ohio State, strength of schedule, the committee's got to figure that out, man, because it's just stupid. And you got to get the 12 best teams now. I'm sick of this. Well, we got to make sure the little guy has a spot. They can get 1 spot, and we'll leave it at that, because it's a joke, these first-round games at some point. I don't know how I got off on that, but it did come up yesterday. They're going to dump Ohio State.
This day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit.
I wish they wouldn't, but they are.
Put some.
Go ahead.
You screwed up my whole read, and I can't even remember.
Well, just start over.
I have it memorized.
Well, go back to start.
This day in sports brought to you by Campus USA Credit. You put some star power to work in your financial life.
Oh boy.
Campus USA Credit.
I know you could do it.
Stephen Orr Spurrier Banks.
You're a quarterback.
You know who won the Super Bowl in 2022, JC?
I do, but right off the top of my head, I probably forgot. Well, I do know.
Your team won it.
The Rams. They beat the
Rams
Bengals.
beat the Cincinnati Bengals 23-20.
In
Cooper Kupp was the MVP.
Yes, he was. And this year, the Rams will play in the Super Bowl again. Next year, the Rams will play in the Super Bowl again at SoFi Stadium. How's that sound? You like that?
Sounds great. Castaway Hot Sauce. Try their signature ball kicker hot sauce inspired by the HBC Steve Spurrier and his famous kick in 1966. I actually used that last night on my chicken on the grill.
That's pretty good.
It is a ball kicker, let me tell you. Holy cow.
It's
very good, but it's hot.
Yeah. Well, they didn't have a mild flavor for you, QB?
I was given that by the Castaway Hot Sauce. I didn't say, please give me, I don't know if it's mild or not, but I don't think it says.
So do you, so while you're playing golf this weekend, are you going to spend any time out there supporting the team you're on the board for?
I actually have to go to the senior dinner tonight. Board members go to that, but I may, because we're playing early.
Yeah.
Early down south, and then I'll probably drive and watch a little bit.
You going to the Iron Gate?
Iron Gate. No, Iron Lake.
Oh, it's Iron Lake now. Okay.
They do have an Iron Gate there, though.
Are you going to make it? You going to still have the same glorious deal for your friends and family?
Don't know. Don't care.
Yeah, you do care because you want to play there. It's a great backup course. You don't want to be kicked out of there. Yeah.
John says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, in 2028 Summer Olympics, we will have NFL players flag football.
I don't know about that.
Maybe some old NFL. I don't know if any current NFL players will play.
Robert Edwards' career ended playing that goofy stuff in Pro Bowl. And I know it was on the beach. It was on the beach, but his whole career ended just because of that. I think that's dangerous. I don't think they're going to let him do that. But maybe they will. Maybe they will. Maybe they will.
So hang on, JC, before we get out of here. Franklin says, because somebody mentioned about Sam Darnold losing money, not making money playing in the Super Bowl. He says here on YouTube, brought to you by Kauai, but Super Bowl players actually lose money if the game is played in California because of taxes. It doesn't matter if it's a Super Bowl or you're just playing the Rams or the Chargers in a regular game. You pay California taxes. You pay city taxes in that city.
State and local, baby.
Yes, you pay state and local taxes every time you play a football game.
And the players,
So every player that played on both teams in that Super Bowl paid taxes to the state of California and to whatever city that is.
Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
And the thing, QB, is, and this is a real thing, the Chicago Bears, one of your great team, they are very close. I mean, like very close to relocating to Indiana. And I know it's because of the punitive world of taxation the
Well, they're
lovely
going
little
out to
town of
Arlington
Chicago.
Heights and building a new
I
stadium.
think they're also looking at Indiana because it's going to save them a lot of money. Listen, this is a business. These teams in New York, in Illinois, in California, the players there have such a disadvantage over the teams in Florida, Texas, Arizona. It's just unbelievable how some people put up with it. Work for free from January the 1st to June 30th. It's all gone. Everything you earn. And it's a shame. But this is, hey, look, until it hurts bad enough that won't
hang on,
change
I just
us.
learned something. Andy says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, California makes NFL players a special tax based on your regular season salary. Very unfair. When did they start that?
No idea. Guess who
Because
moved
you
from?
pay taxes in every state when you play.
Yeah. Well, not in the states of Florida. You pay federal taxes. You do not pay state income taxes.
Right.
But this is another reason why Mark Davis said, screw Oakland. It wasn't just the stadium, even though it really wasn't. There are other issues. And a lot of it had to do with California and the awful conditions it is to operate there. And so if that governor wants to run for president, I say, please try. But that's why they moved to Nevada. And there's no doubt in my mind the Bears are very seriously looking at Indiana, and there's a lot of economics behind it. Maybe they will move out to the suburbs.
So, JC, I want you to look into this because we just got a text here on the Titan War text line saying the issue is that Seattle spent 10 days in California for the big game, and Darnold had to pay a daily tax based on his annual salary. So because of this, he lost money by winning the Super Bowl.
But
why is everybody just looking at Sam Darnold?
No, wouldn't it be all the
every player on the roster?
Yeah, sure it would. And I think there are bonuses in these contracts for these players that get MVPs, that win Super Bowls. Darnold got $1 million incentive bonus for winning the Super Bowl. I don't think he lost money. I think what happened was he just didn't make as much.
Well, it's not just him, it's everybody.
Right, sure, absolutely. And next year it's going to be the same thing in Los Angeles. So
Joseph is saying he ended up paying to play in the Super Bowl.
I don't believe that to be true, because I don't think it is. No, and
right, but it's not like Sam Darnold was the only guy on the roster. Like I've said again, the NFL teams, no matter where. So if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers go play somebody in California, they are paying taxes both in the state of Florida and in California.
Well, they're paying federal income taxes and state taxes. When a California team comes to play the Dolphins, they do not pay state income taxes. Unless maybe they do, because I don't know what California's rule is.
I just know that we had to, when I was playing, no matter where you played.
Yeah, you paid this. Yeah.
You are what they call an entertainer. It's just like when you go do a concert as a country singer. Whatever state are you doing that venue, you're entertaining in that city or in state, you are paying taxes then. Doesn't matter if you live somewhere else. Right?
Yeah,
I don't know if I explained that well.
Well, that's where you're working. Yeah, no, it does.
They may have new rules and regulations that they've added stuff, but
it's 17 checks a year or something.
Okay,
right?
we got to get to Coach
All
Sullivan.
right, go get the baseball team. We'll see you Monday.
Quick timeout. Come back. We'll have Coach O'Sullivan join the program. You're watching, listening to PodUp with Matthews in the Morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back. Our premium sponsors are Atlantic Roofing, Campus USA Credit Union, International Diamond Center, J.F. Hayden's Craft Liqueurs, Los Linderos Tequila, Meldon Law, Titan MRI and Imaging, Castaway Sauce, UF Health Orthopedics. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sports, Comfort Temp, Florida Cracker Oyster, Electronics World, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, McDonald's of Gainesville, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Advocare, MG&A Wealth. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And to advertise, call my man Freddie, 352-284-3733.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, plus you can enjoy bottomless mimosas and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers
And go Gators.
The jewelry store with the most likes, the most positive reviews, the most raving fans is International Diamond Center.
IDC is definitely a place that I will come to as long as I live here. This will be my go-to place always.
Literally the best jewelry store in town. You'll make friends for life coming in here. I felt like family from the beginning. The value was extraordinary.
I've got a beautiful diamond on my finger and I'm very proud of it.
International Diamond Center.
I'm very happy to show it off.
At Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Florida Cracker Oyster Bar and Grill is the ultimate spot for seafood and more. No matter the occasion, they're ready to welcome you. Florida Cracker style. Check them out in Keystone Heights. Back to the Titan Moore Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. We're joined by the head baseball coach at the University of Florida, Coach O'Sullivan. Sully, appreciate you coming on, my man. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's obviously opening day today. Never gets old, and excited about getting this 2026 season underway.
Sully, talk about this team. Obviously, you got some new faces that'll be here, some of the transfers. Tell us about some of the new guys that should make an impact for your program.
Well, I think, Shane, that the theme of this team is we're finally older. Starting with Liam Peterson on the mound tonight. He started on Friday nights as a freshman and had to go through some freshman ups and downs, and we have not been as active in the portal as some other teams in our league. And this, I mean, covering all the sports, all the teams are getting older and older. And I think this is the first team that we've had in the last couple of years that I feel like age-wise and experience-wise we can match up with most of the teams in our league. So, but talking about the new players, like you said, I think the one name that probably pops out the most is, there's a couple, but Cooper Walls will start on Sunday for us. He was the Big West freshman pitcher of the year last year at Hawaii. He's from San Diego, so he'll get the nod on Sunday, unless we play a doubleheader tomorrow because the weather looks a little bit iffy on Sunday. And Russell Sander, for a right-handed pitcher from UCF, certainly comes to mind, who will be a big piece of our pitching staff. And Ethan Serwick, a corner infielder from Ole Miss, will certainly hit right in the middle of the order. So those are just three names that kind of pop out.
Speaking of the Serwick kid, he's a Mississippi kid. And I read somewhere, didn't his family, I think he's from South Mississippi, maybe Gulfport, didn't they move up to Oxford so they could watch him play more? But he never really played. And then y'all kind of saw him this summer. And obviously you knew about him, but he had a really good summer, right?
Yeah, he did. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of his family moving to Oxford, but, like most freshmen, everybody's older, right? So it's hard to track lineups and or the rotation for that matter if you're a freshman nowadays. It's not like it was 10, 15 years ago where you bring in a five-star athlete and you put him right there in the mix. But he's a great kid. We had seen him on the recruiting trail. We didn't really recruit him from his performance during the summer in Northwoods League. We really recruited him off our look that we saw during high school, and then obviously as July and August went on, he just continued to hit. But he certainly had a terrific summer, and obviously we're fortunate to get him.
You're talking about your team getting older. Talk briefly about how NIL, the transfer portal has changed, pretty much every sport, but now it's kind of into baseball. You've always had great success recruiting top-notch high school kids. Is that going to change? Have you changed like your blueprint at all?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think originally going into it, Shane, maybe I was a little bit stubborn in terms of staying with the plan that we had, because it was successful for a good part of 15 years, right? But as you started going through it, I think our pitching staff was the youngest, if not one of the youngest in the entire country the last 2 years. And we took our lumps. But then again, you have to have resources to be active in the portal. Let's just be honest. We'll call it the way it is. I mean, if you want to get a premium arm that's going to be able to start on the weekend, which there are very few of those in the portal, I mean, they're going to cost $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, and we just don't have those funds. That's just the fact of it. So we've had to develop our young pitchers, and last year was a great example of that. We started out 1-11. Our pitching staff was not up to par to what we expect, but those young pitchers figured it out. We finished up 14-4 in the league the last 18. And certainly don't want to go through years like that, but the fact of the matter is, there's, when you don't have experience and you're pitching against 22, 23, 24-year-old lineups, it does take time. But I do feel like this year's club, and the other thing to take into account is the amount of injuries we had last year. I mean, you look at any sport, but in ours, we lost our catcher at the end of the year. We lost our shortstop with a hamate. We lost Cade Curlin, our second baseman, for a good part of the year, and we lost our center fielder. So you're taking out the whole middle of your diamond, plus one of your top three starters. There's no minor leagues to call anybody up. It's easy to say next man up, but when you lose that many players, not only does it change your lineup, obviously, but it does change, the dynamic in the dugout. It changes your dynamic in the locker room. I mean, it changes everything. So it just took us some time. So, I know the season didn't end the way we wanted it to last year, losing in a regional in Myrtle Beach. But looking back, I'm more proud about that team, the way they were able to turn things around than any other team that we've had. And since this expansion in '91 with the SEC, there's been no team in our sport that started out 1-11 in the league and turned it around and made the postseason. So we got some momentum. We're a year older, like I said, and I couldn't be more excited about getting this thing started tonight.
John's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. The starting rotation is solid. Who can you rely on out of the bullpen? Who will you look to close the games out?
I think we got a couple options. Right now, Russ Staniford from UCF will probably get the nod tonight. Josh Rittenauer is someone that we're looking at to close games, and Barbary. He's been throwing the ball lights out. So those three for sure. I really trust Billy Barlow, who's older, Ricky Reith from Notre Dame transfer. Trust him. Luke McNeely. Trust him, obviously. And then from the left-handed side, we've got a kid named Ernie Lugo. I won't even try to pronounce his last name, but he'll be reliable out of the pen. And we got three other left-handers that have been doing well in inter squads. They're young, but I do trust them. Jackson Hoyt, Eli Blair, and McCall Beimiller. So we've got some lefties that we haven't had in the last couple of years. So that's just to name a few. But there's certainly others that are going to have to step up and help us. But we do have some depth on the mound.
Sully, I know you're going to change up your lineup, depending on the pitching matchup, things of that nature. But like if you had the perfect lineup from this roster, who's going to be batting leadoff down to the 9 spot, and where will they play in the field?
Well, it's a good question, Shane. We're gonna have 3 different lineups this weekend. I really think this team is very comparable. I think we're deeper on the mound than we were in 2020, the COVID year. But if you go back and look at the box scores, we never had the same lineup 2 days in a row, and that was because we had depth. And I think we're 16-1. We were the number 1 team in the country, and obviously, COVID hit. But right now, like I said, there's 3 freshmen that we really like, and they're all going to get a start this weekend. There's going to be a couple guys that are going to end up playing third base, and Ethan's going to start at third tonight. But he'll play some first base this weekend as well to get those other 2 guys some action at third. I think probably when I got back in January and we started practice, I think the biggest surprise for me was the shape that Brendan Lawson was in. I kind of had him penciled in to play third and first, be a corner infielder, but he's really moving well, and he's going to end up starting at shortstop. I guess the best comp to make to him would be like a Josh Rivera type, that when we recruited him, I did not think he was going to be able to be a shortstop because of his body type, and he got in really good shape and started moving better. And next thing you know, he had a great career here at short, and I think Brenda's following those lines as well, along those lines. So we got a lot of moving parts. Cade Curlin's coming off an oblique. So we'll see how he reacts this weekend. Obviously, if we play a doubleheader tomorrow, because the weather on Sunday, he may need a day. Maybe he can play 18 innings. I don't know, but we'll handle that after game 1 tomorrow. If we do end up playing a doubleheader, obviously it'll be a little different situation because I'll be watching at home. I'll be watching at home this first weekend, but I'll be yelling at the TV. But we'll get through this 3-game suspension. Certainly, I'll serve it, accordingly, and then obviously, hopefully, be back in the dugout on Tuesday.
All right, a couple more minutes here with Coach O'Sullivan. Annie's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. How important is the addition of Tom Slater to your staff, and what is his best attribute that he brings?
I love Tommy Slater. I've known Tommy for 25 years. He's no stranger to Florida. He obviously works with Coach McMahon. Was a head coach in our league at Auburn after he left Florida. He's been in professional baseball, I think, 17 years. He's coached at the big league level as a hitting coach. Great baseball mind. Matter of fact, we were talking last night about different scenarios. You got, first and third in the 9th inning with nobody out. We're talking about infield depth. You play double play depth with no outs. You play him in the 3 position. I mean, he is he's a lot like me. Like he's a baseball junkie. He loves to create scenarios in his head that if this situation were to come up, what are your thoughts? And I haven't had that, to be honest with you, in the last few years, as far as just breaking down the game and being a true baseball mind. I couldn't be more excited to have him, and he's a great addition. The players love him. And I think he's happy to be back in Gainesville. Obviously, it was a big move for him to go from, to transition to go from professional baseball back to college. But for me personally, on a personal level, I couldn't be more excited to have him on board.
A text from George here on the Titan More text line. In the crazy world of college athletics, do you see any guys that still have eligibility that are in the single A or double A coming back to college to play?
It's a really good question because I've been asked that quite a bit. There's nothing that, in the past you say, no, that's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. But nowadays it's like anything is possible. We even, we have Michael Byrne on our staff, who's a student assistant, who's finishing up his degree. I mean, I think he might be 29 years old. We tossed around that idea. You know, why can't he be eligible, right? He didn't get to the big leagues. He got to AAA. I mean, anything is possible. I think there's going to be, in my opinion, somebody's going to try to do it in our league. And once that happens, that obviously is going to open up, you know, doors for other schools to want to do it. I mean, who knows where this thing goes? But I would never say never to anything at this point.
I agree. Coach, well, we appreciate your time. Glad you're back. Good luck this season, and we'll see you in Omaha, hopefully.
Yep. We'll definitely see you in Omaha, and I appreciate you, Shane.
All right. That's Coach Kevin O'Sullivan. Join us on the Titan Memorial Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Miapa Latin Cafe. We love Gator basketball so much. Everyone at the O-Dome gets a free empanado when the opposing team misses 2 consecutive free throws in the second half. I want to thank JC and Coach O'Sullivan. A lot of people are asking what channel the game is on. I do not know the answer to that. I'm sure you can Google it, or if you go to floridagators.com, it probably will tell you how you can watch. It's probably like one of those ESPN pluses, my guess. So anyway, we got a lot to talk about on Monday. Big basketball game, gymnastics. Oklahoma's in town. The Wildcats of Kentucky are in town. And obviously, we got opening weekend with Gator baseball. Have a great weekend, folks. We'll see you on Monday. Take care.